and all the different classes.
I gotta take a picture of that. Hold on.
Yeah. So then we have the recordings, and then we have all the links on the PC.
I love it.
To check out all the classes and things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all two of us, let's have a conversation.
Wow.
Happy New Year. So, what's the biggest thing you guys are excited about to start this new decade with? Like, it can be about work, it can be personal. What are you excited about?
I'm excited to be here. I'm a new agent.
Great. And what were you doing before?
I've been with Keller Williams for 5 years.
Wow,
but
where?
I was in Spokane, Washington.
Oh, wow. So what brought you here to Maui?
I've been talking to Nicole for years about
Really?
buying something here,
Wow.
and I come here for vacation every year with my kids, and I just said I want to retire there, but since I can't retire, I might as well go there and work.
That's great. So you got your license,
Yeah.
and Nicole, did you sell her a place?
No,
No,
yet.
not yet. She'll be selling it to herself now.
Oh,
but-
wow. Well, I didn't know. I
no.
thought she said okay,
Yeah,
good.
she's
That's
working.
exciting stuff.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And for you, Nicole?
Gosh, 2020, I'm just so excited to have the new instructors for Ignite,
Yeah.
which is so awesome. To have so many great agents coming on board and just ready to soak up knowledge, and I'm just excited. This program is.
Excellent. Excellent. It's awesome.
I'm so happy.
So there are a couple of really great things. I read a quote the other day, and it said that we do not define our future. Our habits define our future.
Yes. Love it.
Right? And it's
Definitely.
because of our habits that when we start a new year, we have all these amazing intentions.
Yep.
And then, it goes really good for about 90 days to 100 days, and then we revert back. So what I've been asking everybody is, you get to decide what your future looks like by the habits that you choose. And in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits,
We just got done reading that.
yeah, so what did you get out of from that book? What was your couple of ahas? And I'll share with you mine.
How easy it is to, set them, and how hard it is to stay with them. That
Right.
your natural, ability is to change things back to where it's more comfortable. So, yeah, it was a great book.
Yeah, and what he said in the Atomic Habit, right, is that we can either be an architect of our habit and be creative, or we can be a victim of our habit. So there are good habits and there are bad habits. And what we want to do in the beginning of the year is set up good habits, right? And it's much easier to set them up when we give it the emphasis on, let me just improve 1%.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's saying in Atomic Habits. He's not saying let's improve 20%. He's like saying, let's improve the habit. Hi. Yes. Good. Show some houses. What is the 1% that you can do that by which of doing that habit will get you closer to what you accomplish? And I was on a call with Gary Keller 3 days ago, and Gary says, when I wrote the book, The One Thing and the MREA, and I said, think big, aim high, he said that wasn't arbitrary. He says, I want you to think big and aim high, and a goal is not necessarily going to help you achieve what you need to get to. It's the plan for the goal.
Right.
The actions you take that will help you achieve. Just writing a goal down like, hey, everybody does it in the beginning of the day. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to make $100,000. That's just a goal.
Yep.
So now, what's the plan behind it? So thinking about your goal and what you're excited about and what you're excited about, and we went around the room about what we're excited about for 2020. What are you excited about?
You never have a goal. No.
So
I'd like to sell a certain amount, try to hit 12 million.
Okay.
Goal,
So say that again.
12 million.
You
Sell-
want to
sell,
hit
I'd
12.
like to.
You want to sell 12 million.
Yeah.
Right.
And then if I can get, I'll get luxury.
Okay.
Luxury agent.
Okay.
So that's my goal.
Okay. Great. So now that's the goal, right? And so now, what is the action and plan behind that goal?
Yeah.
So what is the one good habit that if you did that habit 1% better every day would get you to that goal? So what would be that habit for something like that, which is to do 12 million, right?
It's like I'm a 411,
right,
but
so-
just like what you're saying, it's the plan to get you there, so I'm saying, okay, well, I don't know how to get there, I mean, I don't know how to, that's the goal, but how do I get there, cause I've never done it before, so it's hard to make up a plan if I've never been there, but.
Well, okay, well, not necessarily, so let's think about this, your goal is $12 million.
Yeah.
What's your average price point?
Yeah, we're working backwards.
What's your average price point? You know the number now, so the number is,
It's like
I wanna hit,
750, 730.
750 for houses.
Yeah.
okay, so I wanna hit $12 million in volume. Okay,
Well, we're working,
so what's your average price point?
I guess the average for our homes is like 750.
Okay, so from
We're
last
working in-
year,
We're working in Gualera, so I'm like all over the place in there.
right, but base it on your experience, so last year you
Oh.
sold how many properties?
4,
Okay, and what was the average price point of those 4?
about 650.
Okay, so
Yeah.
650 now, so 12 million to you is volume, so that's not necessarily the units, right?
Right.
Right.
So if you divide 650 by 12 million, how many homes do you have to sell? 10, right? So 10 units. So now this becomes 10 units. So then when you do 10 units and your commission split, what's your average commission that you gross when you do a 10,000, when you do one of these units?
Is it 20, yeah? Is it 20? Oh,
17,875.
Okay, so your amount of money that you make is 17?
17,875 is
Right.
the gross.
That's the gross. So on one house, you make 17,875, right?
Right.
You pay the house money and what do you get? What's your split?
Or what's
Seven.
this?
70 or?
Well, he'll
for
be
the
capped. He'll cap.
Oh, so wait, so, hold on one second. So 12 million,
He'll cap.
he'll cap.
Mhm.
Well, he's probably, yeah, that's
So
cap.
minus 38.
Right.
38 is the cap.
Well, no, he's a buyer's agent. Are you on a half cap or a cap?
No. Oh,
You're on a
you're
cap.
on your team.
You're
Yeah.
on a half cap. So yeah, he'll hit his cap.
Right.
So then he's at 100%,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But this would be what he's paying the company or what he's paying us? What he's paying
That's right.
the
So I
seller?
would just take the gross of that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm
10
saying,
times.
take
that.
12 million, let's start over.
Yeah,
The average commission on 12 million is
at 60% or.
at 5%.
That's gonna be 178,750. Just put a
Okay,
zero on the
there
end of
we
that.
go.
There you go.
Okay,
That's
great.
the gross. Gross
Okay, that's the gross commission.
Right.
Now, what do you get from here?
So our split, my split between me and Evian?
No, you and the
Right.
company, whatever that is, what do you net
He's
here?
on a team.
Yeah, you're on a
So it'll
team.
be 50-50, right?
Yeah, but even with, before that, it's still like 70, I think 70-30 or something like that, yeah?
Yeah, so
that's-
I mean, so let's say out of the 100, the easiest thing for me to say to you is,
Yeah.
okay, if 17850 is the total gross, the company is gonna get theirs. I'm just trying to get you to understand, it's not as important the volume as it important how much money you're gonna make.
Mm.
About 60,000,
Okay, great.
I think. if I did
Okay,
it
let's
right
just
away.
say it is. Let's just say it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So is that really what you wanna earn?
No.
Okay, how much do you wanna earn? 100?
2?
200?
Yeah.
Okay, so 60 times 3 is 180. So you gotta triple this to get 200,000 about. So you've gotta do 36 million in business. Okay?
That's what I'm like, okay.
If that's what you just said you wanna make triple this.
200,000?
You said 200,000, so
Right.
60 times 3 is 180, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just rounding it off, I'm making it easy for you. So you really have to sell 36 million, which is equal to 30 units. Now you got your number. Now that's your baseline,
But
so,
the 10 unit, it's actually 20 units then, yeah? Cause if it's average is 650,
Yeah, that's true.
the 10 units is like 6 million and a half, 6.5 million.
oh, you gave me 10 units, I just wrote it down.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So how many
So
units
it's
is this? 20?
Yeah.
So he has to do 60 units then, okay.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
that's 20, so you have to do
You're right.
60
That's
units.
20.
Wait, 60 units. Okay, so that's your start. So if you wanna make 180, and this is net, I mean, gross to you, you have taxes or whatever.
Right.
But if you wanna make 180 to 200, you gotta do 60 units. You gotta do 60 units in 2020. Now you take the 60 units, and that's your one. That's the plan. He's writing on the 135.
Yeah.
Oh, you are.
And then he can take his daily activities
That-
that result in
So,
4,
so right, so the one is the objective. My one objective is to hit 60 units, which equals 180,000 commissions to me. Okay? Then underneath that, you have the 3. What are the 3 goals to get me to my one objective? Okay?
Right.
So one of those goals would be an example is lead gen.
Yeah.
Okay? There you go. Second goal would be what?
Conversion.
No, that would be under lead gen. So that's how that goes. So if you have 3 goals, it could be lead gen, it could be create systems and touch campaign, it could be, events, events could be under lead gen. So the third one could be more education, more training, mastery, right? Then under the 3 goals, you have your 5 strategies. Okay, so that's how you work with a 135.
GPS.
A 135. So that's what Gary is saying, and the goal is not necessarily gonna get you to achieve it, it's just gonna help you create the action. That's why under the 3, it's 3 goals. What are the 3 goals to get me there?
Break it down.
Yeah, and you know what, here's the thing, everybody, you do not have to recreate the wheel. If you go on your KW intranet, and you go to KW Connect, and you go sample of a 135, guess what comes up? A bunch of agents who put their 135 in there for other agents to look at and to figure out how to create a 135.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about our platform and our network. We share information. Anytime I'm looking for something that I don't have, I just go in there and I go type it in and boom, it comes right back up, right?
True.
Okay. So, okay, great. So what are the habits you're gonna do 1% better than you did before every day so that the compound interest in the next 66 days it becomes a habit? Because it takes 60. So my recommendation is if you guys have a hard time with that, go on to the One Thing podcast. They've started the 66-day challenge for the year. And if you're not a disciplined person, that will require you to become even that habit of going on that podcast every day, or the habit of looking at the 66-day challenge workbook every day will raise your game exponentially, right? Just by creating the habit of looking at it. So, any questions or thoughts on that? Okay, what about a bad habit? What is a bad habit that you can take away or improve on? That might be difficult.
Stop watching Netflix series.
Okay. So what they say is, let's say you're really for real about that. What does your environment look like when you go home that causes you to go on the couch that faces the TV? So it's about creating an environment where it supports really what you don't want to do is sit over there. But what if you put the couch, turned it away from the TV and had it by books?
I actually
Yes.
have a sign on the front of my TV
Yep.
that says, "Is this the best use of your time?" And I have to flip it up over the TV.
I love it.
Because there's
I
times
love
when
it.
I need to just sit there and do nothing and just not think of anything. But you can get sucked into it,
Yeah.
so it's like
I get it. I'm
conscious
like that.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conscious decision.
Um,
Cool, I like that.
okay, so what's another bad habit?
Gosh, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
But here's the thing.
Eating.
Don't
Right.
don't
Food.
pick 5 things.
I know.
Yeah.
You won't stop it if you pick 5 things.
Right.
So my one thing this year is I've gotta cut out the sugar, right? I did my A1C test, my numbers were higher than it was 18 months ago. I'm like, oh no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be diabetic, or pre-diabetic for that matter. So it's the daily habit of being really conscious about what am I putting in my mouth. Do I really need that pastry? I'm never touching a boba again, and I haven't in 30 days, and that was a hard habit for me to break. But I said, why drive yourself to the place you know when you go there, that's what you want. So I go, I'm gonna make tea at home. I don't need to drive over there. I can make my own tea, ice it up, make it a milk tea, and it's all good. I'm saving money, and I don't need the sugar. And I'm on my, it started on December 27th, so the boba started before that. I already knew she was gonna tell me that, my nutritionist. So I'm week 3 of it, not a month yet, week 3. But that's okay, it's gonna get easier. So what is the one habit that by breaking it will allow you to be more productive? The one, not watching of the TV, what if you did something else with that time? Right, so in the beginning of the year, it's really easy to get really excited about your intentions and your goals. And if you don't create a plan, it will be very hard to execute.
Agreed.
Right? The biggest thing that agents worry about in the beginning of the year is what? What's my next deal?
Right.
I'm at 0. I could have had a phenomenal 2019 and been done by November, but come January, if I wasn't working on that business in October, I'm dead in the water right now with nothing to close. I have one of my agents, they're like, I'm gonna close $10 million in the first 3 months of this quarter. I go, good for you. She goes, but my last quarter, everything fell apart.
Yeah.
So that's why. But you didn't stop. You didn't worry about the stuff that didn't flow because your pipeline was full so you could keep closing transactions. That's what you gotta keep doing. So what is the one habit you've got to do away with and just do a little bit at a time, and what is the one good habit that you have to do a little bit good at a time? So I would write that down. So one of the agents in Whalers, we were talking about one of the habits that they want to start practicing, and it was actually scripts. And they were like, you know what, I have to start, because he started executing a big social media campaign where he's got a lot of pay-per-clicks. He's getting 500 leads in the last 2 months. That's 10 leads a day. And I said, so what's the process? What's the system? What are you saying? And he's like, that's what I've got to do. I've got to get back to these people. I've got to. So, we went over that. It's like, he goes, I don't really like cold calling. I go, well, first of all, you're not cold calling. They touched on your social media. You're calling them because they emailed you and they asked for more information. So it's a warm call. You're just converting that. So what script do you have to master this year to help you convert more deals? And for you, it might be, what is the script you're going to use with your agents to get them to do what they need to do?
Yes.
Right? What are the questions that you're going to ask a buyer or seller that's going to get them to do what they need to do? So we've got to come up with better scripts and better questions and be more prepared. And not just go to an open house and sit in open house. You should have scripts when you're at an open house. Do you guys realize that? No, literally, you should have a script for when the moment that person walks in the door to the rest of the conversation. You shouldn't wing it. It shouldn't be, hey, well, what, no, it should be very strategic. And it can sound natural, but you have to practice it enough so it is natural, so that you've internalized the script. Right? There's 3 phases to a script. Write this down. You memorize it, you internalize it, and then you customize it. So I would ask myself, if I'm in business and I'm starting a year fresh and I'm at 0, what script do I have to memorize so that by memorizing that I can convert more deals? Because if,
All of them.
huh? But you're not gonna be able to memorize all of them.
Yeah.
So if there's an area in the business of the lead gen that you really do well at, but you just gotta do better at. So let's say you're an agent who does really well at open houses. Like you convert, like your 4 deals were from an open house. Were they?
Saw people I knew.
Okay, all right, there you go. All people you knew. So what script could you practice this year to network with all the people you know, to get them excited about buying, selling, referring you business? So if you, those were all, you know, so what I do is I tell my agents, look at all your business from 2019. In one column, number the deals you did. It's easy if it was like 2. But if you had like 20 deals, in the right column, I want you to create a T. So I want it to look like this. So I want it, oh, we're running out of paper.
Not gonna work.
Are these
Right,
Post-its?
There might be.
You wanna write them in Harvard?
That's okay. So I would go like this. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, you know, Joe, Mary, Judy, Alan, John. Okay. Then I go, how did I meet them? Where did this transaction come from? Open house, cold call, open house, referral. So now I see I got 3 from open houses, 1 cold call, and 1 referral. Okay? So I already know I'm a good converter at open house. I want to be a better converter at open house because this is my opportunity. I already know I'm good at that. So I would study all the open house scripts there are. Okay? But then I wouldn't stop there. Then I go, okay, once I've mastered those scripts, now I'm going to go into my referral script and my cold call script. And this is what you do every year when you analyze your business. So I would be curious to know if Lisa was at a team meeting or Nicole was sitting with all her agents who are in production and said, okay, everybody, tell me where all your business came from. Some of them will probably go referrals. Others will go, oh my God, all open, you know, great. So that's that one habit that you need to create to be even better at that. And there are a lot of scripts. There are tons of scripts. Even a casual conversation at a networking event should be a script. Even if you're at a restaurant with a bunch of friends and you meet somebody and they all of a sudden hear you're in real estate and ask you what you do is a script. Right? So a lot of times you'll meet somebody and they'll go, hey, what is it that you do? What does everybody say? What do you say, Patty?
Oh, what do I do for a living,
Yeah.
basically? Well, I'm in real estate,
Okay.
but I actually moved to a new location and I'm enjoying it because I'm sitting the floor and I'm meeting a lot of people.
Is that when
And-
you're actually telling the person that just asked you what you did?
I'm not through telling them.
Okay, so stop right there.
Wow.
I'm gonna help you out.
Okay.
Nicole, what do you do for a living?
I help people build wealth through real estate.
Cool.
I usually say.
Okay, and?
I help people buy and sell investment properties, their own properties, whatever they're looking for. I like to help people build their wealth. It's
Oh,
the number
cool.
one way to build wealth.
Okay, cool. What do you say?
I say I'm in the business of helping people buy and sell homes and for personal or investment, and I have great referral agents all over, so if you need any help anywhere, if you know anybody, just pay attention, you're always listening, and someone says something about real estate, you know, let's exchange numbers and go from there.
Okay. What do you say?
Real estate and started real estate. And if you know anybody who's looking for either to buy or sell, then let me know.
Okay, so one of the first things you have to do is have a 30-second commercial. And then after you say whatever it is you say, you ask. Why do you ask?
Do you know anybody?
No,
No?
you do not go into do you know anyone.
Oh, okay.
You go right into why do you ask?
Right on, that's the question.
Because see, the problem
That was
is
what I was gonna
you
say.
wanna throw up all over them with what you do.
Well,
And so when you say, I love what Nicole says, Nicole, say what you just said again.
I help people build wealth through real estate.
Okay, so let's role play this.
Okay.
So Nicole, ask me what I do. I'm gonna be you.
What do you do?
Oh, what do you mean? What I do for a living?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I create equity and help people build assets and wealth through real estate. Why do you ask?
there you go, I like that, it's quicker.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, cool. Are you in the market? Now I can ask her. Are you in the market or do you know of anyone?
Right.
And then you'll say whatever you say, right? You might say, oh my God, yes, I actually do. Or you might say, no, I was just curious. Say, oh, awesome.
Would you ask, do you own a home?
No, nope. See, when you have to have a script that invites them to want to give you more information. So when you
So no
ask a
answer.
better quality of question, you get a better quality of answer.
Not a yes or no.
Yeah. So when you ask a close-ended question, you get a close-ended answer. So you need to leave the question wide enough so that they want to tell you everything about them. So there's a really great book which I've recommended before called The 7 Power of Questions by Dorothy Leeds.
The 7?
The 7 Power of Questions. The 7 Power of Questions by Dorothy Leeds. And what she says in her book is there are emotions attached to questions. So think of all the questions that there are. So think of the first word in all the questions. So again, I
Who, what, where,
really
when,
wish
why.
I had one so I could write for you guys, but. So why don't you write that down on a sheet of paper? All the questions, so call it out.
Who, what, where, when, and why?
There's more.
There's more?
Yep,
How?
yep. She said how.
Who,
So
What,
who,
where,
what,
when, why, how?
I used to be a reporter, who, what, where, when, and how.
So, who, what,
Who, what, where, when, and how is what I knew, but then there's more.
there's way more.
Yeah, there sure is.
And I'll tell you why I'm asking you to do this, because in Dorothy Leeds' book, there was a study done with salespeople. Top salespeople know the same 15 questions. In every industry, the top salespeople know the same interesting questions. So we're gonna play a really fun game right now. I wasn't planning on doing this, but we're gonna liven this up and I'm gonna prove a point. So, Patty, why don't you come here?
Oh. Okay.
Okay, you guys are gonna partner up.
I don't have paper either.
That's okay.
I can do more.
That's okay.
That's-
Just get a little closer. So this is what's gonna happen. If you're to my left, you're gonna show me your pen. Okay, show me your pen, great. To my right is the customer buying the pen. I want you, on my left, to sell the pen to the customer on the right. And I'm gonna give you, and all I'm gonna do is observe. I'm gonna give you a timer, so I'm gonna give you, hold on, wait for it. 3 minutes to sell that pen. Ready,
That's a long time.
set, go.
Let me ask you a question. How often do you use
For a
pens?
new pin.
Every day.
Oh, very nice. Do you love the pens that you currently
use one.
use?
You could use
I just
one.
grabbed this
Everybody
here.
uses one.
Got it. Is there any preference you have for the pens that you use?
It's
Yeah.
very handy.
Well, there's all
I'm gonna
sorts
tell
of
you about this
purposes,
pen that I have.
but,
It's pretty special. I love
Rarely
the way it
do,
writes.
you know, unless it's a color
I don't
thing.
know if it's something that you'd like to try.
Focus on what pen I'm using.
Okay, sure.
Just take it, try it out.
Got it. And what's the most
But I have a
important?
lot of them given.
What's the
Okay.
most
Oh,
important thing?
so
got
always giving you a pen,
are looking
you know,
at
so I
buying
like
a pen.
So what's the most important thing when you're using pen? to
Yeah,
you?
yeah, that it flows
Yeah.
easily and not.
You mean
Yeah.
Do you
about
like
the pen?
different
Yeah.
colors?
I mean, like,
Yeah.
What do you find most
I usually
important?
like different colors.
I
and
like it
things
to
like
be
that.
non-smudgy
Yeah, I like
and I like it
things.
to flow
Do you
with
like
the
the,
balance of
I
my
like
hair,
these
really,
ones that have like the
have to
tip
put
on it.
extra pressure, I don't want it
Right.
to
Yeah,
drag.
I lied, I'm only gonna give you 1 minute, go ahead.
Yeah.
Something comfortable too.
Excellent, so if you had a pen that was really balanced and you felt just amazing in your hand, that'd be really beneficial to you?
It might, I'd
So,
have to test it and see.
Is it something?
Yeah,
you're
for
in the
sure, I
market
totally
for?
understand that. So anything else? that's
Okay,
really-
stop. Okay, stop. So, your first question was,
How often do you use pens?
okay, what was your first question?
Are you looking to purchase a new pen?
Okay, so your question was informative. Your question went right into, are you looking to buy or sell?
Right.
So if someone's asking me if I'm looking to buy or sell, I'm gonna say what? No or yes.
Yes.
So that became a closed-ended question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But what you did was you posed the question in a way that I didn't feel like you were even trying to sell her a pen. You were asking her questions before, and it's still in the 1 minute, I hadn't heard you say, do you wanna buy a pen?
Yeah.
Right? So my point is whether it's a house or a pen, we have a tendency when someone says, what do I do for a living? Go, oh, I sell real estate. Why? Are you looking to buy? Right? I mean, God, can they sit down first? Can they have coffee?
Yeah.
Can they have a hug? I don't know. I mean, you know, it feels kind of cold, right? So we got to think of it as scripts is all about asking better questions. So when you wrote those questions down, there's more than that. So let's think about the other questions. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. Easy. That's what everyone knows. What other questions are there? Think about it. Did you know? Are you aware? Would you be open to? Are you interested in?
Would
Yes.
it be okay
Would this make sense to you? If this wasn't the house you were looking for and I showed you something that was closer, would that be of interest to you? So what we have to get away from is a habit that's actually a great habit to break, everybody. If we had to think of a habit that if we broke it, that would make us more money in 2020, it would be the habit of selling and telling.
Yeah.
Open
What do you
every
mean by telling?
selling and telling.
Telling,
So when I asked you what you did,
uh-huh,
you went into this whole thing about what you do and you moved to an office and so
well, you
you
know what I was leading up to is to see if they, you know, if you're down in Wailea, you know, I was trying to.
right, but you didn't even ask me if I was gonna be a down in Wailea. I just asked you what you did for a living.
Uh-huh.
So my point is that we naturally on the default, everyone does this by the way, Patty.
Yeah.
We go into selling and telling because we're salespeople.
Ah.
So when I say learn your scripts, it's not necessarily sell and tell,
Keep
it's
on the
ask more questions.
I got you.
Yeah.
Alright.
So for instance, what do you guys do when someone walks into an open house? Tell me what you ask, 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 go.
I usually LP Mama people. So
Huh?
LP Mama, location,
Location.
price.
Oh, okay.
Mortgage, agent, motivation.
No. I want to know the first thing you ask me when I walk in the door.
Oh, I say hello, how are you? How's it
Great.
going?
I'm good, thank you.
Awesome, welcome to the open house.
Awesome.
Check it out, let me know what you think, and I'd love to have a conversation after you're through to see how you like this place.
Okay, great. So the how are you doing is the only question she asked me. Then she said, go look around, right? What would you ask me?
Pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Welcome, you know, how are you doing? How's your day today? Love
Excellent.
to see you here. You know,
Great.
just-
Next.
Are you from the area? Are you from here or are you visiting?
Okay,
we're
so
on
it's
there.
hi, how are you doing? Are you
Yeah.
from the area or are you visiting?
Yeah.
Okay,
myself and give their names right off the bat.
Okay,
As natural for me to do that.
okay,
And just introduce them and ask them, you know, what brought you to the open house? Or do you live in the neighborhood?
okay, okay,
Then-
what brought you
Then
to,
open it.
okay. Here's a strategic question. How did you find the open house?
So how do you
Hi, how are you doing? Welcome. So how did you find the open house? And what will you get from them? A sign, an agent, I was driving in the area, we're visiting. That one question will give you 5 answers.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I've used that before, but the habit was looming over me.
That's a good one though, right?
The default.
Yeah, the default.
Remember I said that Dorothy Lead says everyone asks the same question? So let me tell you, if I'm going to 4 open houses and you all ask me that same question, I'm over it. Like I'd be like, oh, can I just look around, right? So you gotta be different. And you can't be sitting in open house the minute someone walks in, hey, aloha, how you doing? Oh my gosh, welcome, welcome. So this is a great property. How did you find it? How did you come to find our open house today?
Yeah.
And why I did it as an agent is because I wanted to know, are my signs working?
Right.
Did someone send them? Did they see an ad? Are they a neighbor? That tells me that one question is very unassuming.
Yeah, and it covers a lot of.
And I'm not saying, do you have an agent? Or, you know, I'm not saying that. And if they go, oh, my agent said, fantastic, what is her name? Or his name? Let me thank them. And sometimes they make up names.
I know.
Yeah.
So when I say, oh, I would love their name, I want to thank them. And I was sincere, I really did. If it was someone I knew, I'm going to get, oh, Jennifer, thanks so much for sending your, you know. But that's the thing is, there's a difference between someone who's a professional open house worker than someone who's a professional open house sitter. On the phone, looking at books, you know, not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? So if you've got a busy industry, and I know that, especially in December, if your property is well priced, you don't have to do anything, it'll just sell. But when the market shifts and things sit for a while, you better maximize the use of your open house. And when I say maximize, I used to do this thing where it was a hot market, and I would get a lot of listings. And it would be fun for me at open houses because I didn't really care about the buyers. I knew it was gonna sell as my listing. But what I would use the open house for, I'd like to have somebody else sit with me so they could deal with the buyer. I'd use it as a marketing tool for me to get more listings.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'd be like, oh yeah, it's good, you know, and I never hounded the buyers when they walked in. I would just be like, hey, look around, you know, if this doesn't work for you, I have a couple coming up. And so then I got to be known as someone who had a whole pipeline of listings. And if I did or I didn't, it didn't matter. Because if there was another neighbor in the area, they'd be like, you know what, I really want to talk to you about looking at my house. Do you have time for that? Like, it creates this energy, right? And it's the same thing. When you're sitting in an open house, you need to prospect that open house and create energy and make it exciting. Even if you have 2 people walk in the whole time, right? So it's all about what is a habit that you can create, an energy that you create in 2020 that would get you to do 1 more deal, 2 more deals. What's it gonna take? What skill, knowledge do you have to improve to get there? Right? Okay, so that's what we talked about today, habits. Anybody read the book Infinite Game?
I just finished it.
Okay, so the Infinite Game, actually Simon Sinek was at the Entree Leadership Summit in
December?
hold
In
on,
Vegas?
San Diego,
Oh.
last year. I do it every year. This year it's in Orlando, and he had Simon Sinek on twice. I've been to 4 ELSs. And when he talked about the Infinite Game, it was really incredible because they had a lot of really great speakers. And when he talked about the Infinite Game, he was talking about business. But now that the book is so popular, he's kind of changed his key 5 components of playing the Infinite Game. So I would like your take on what you got out of the Infinite Game for you. Like when you finished that book, what was your takeaway? What was your aha?
My biggest takeaway is that in everything, it's about relationships with people, in absolutely everything. The relationships is what makes all the difference, no matter how big of a scenario it is, no matter how big of a business is, it's always about the relationships. And that was the main thing for me. That being said, that was one of the best books I've read in a really long time. My husband actually launched his book last month.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
thank you. So I was like, his is about managing people, because
Yep.
he's a restaurant manager, and I was like, I listened to it
Yes.
on Audible. I'm like, you gotta listen to this.
Yeah,
It
and
was so amazing.
and what he says about that kid from Four Seasons, right?
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
it's about the
coffee
way
place.
you manage and the way you make people feel.
Yes.
So what he says about playing the infinite game in business is there are 5 key components. The first component is that you have to have a just cause.
Yep.
What is your just cause? And what your just cause is when you're selling real estate is your big why. Why do I do this? Why do I love real estate? Why do I enjoy waking up every day and being rejected? It doesn't matter, because that 1 or 2 or 10 people at the end of the year, I've actually impacted and helped them find a home and created wealth for them, right? So just cause. What is your just cause? That which, by getting up every day inspired and excited and fulfilled, you can drive and help and contribute and serve others, right? So to play the infinite game, it cannot be just about money. It has to be about something bigger than you, okay? Second, he talks about trusted teams, right? And what he means by that is who you surround yourself by is as important as your success, because you need to surround yourself by people who support, encourage, empower you to do what you do, right? I read a quote the other day, it was so impactful. If you are surrounded, if you have a circle of people that don't inspire you, you are in a cage. You are in a cage. So who are the people around you, your trusted team, that you've created an inner circle that you can grow and do your business, right? And I love what John Maxwell says. He has an inner circle, but he also has an outer circle, right? So, okay, that was 2 was trusted team. Number 3 was worthy adversary.
Yeah.
I love this part because in every industry, you have a competitor and you have a worthy adversary. There's a difference. What do you guys think is the difference? When have you ever heard the term worthy adversary? It's in sports.
Yeah.
That football team rival, that big basketball team, right?
Yeah.
That player. Okay, so a worthy rival is somebody,
Inspirational.
right, who does really well. And what Simon Sinek said, he was invited to do this talk. And there was this other guy who was a motivational speaker, did a book, and he goes, I hated the guy. Because every time I'd see him, I'd go on Amazon and see, was my book selling faster than his? Or is it his? You know, and he goes, and then what I realized is, I met him, and he goes, oh, I feel the same way about you. But they're worthy rivals.
Yeah.
And so in your business, who is your worthy rival? If I'm an agent, I'm going to look at a territory that I have, and I'm going to look at who is my worthy rival. So when I was an agent, there was this guy. Every time I went on a listing, he was on the same listing. And I'm like, what? And we were marketing ourselves the same way. So one day I told a friend of mine who lived in the area I farmed, they said, if you get any of so-and-so's stuff, keep it. And she goes, okay. She goes, but you're my agent. I go, keep it. Anything you get from him, keep it. So one day she called me, she goes, well, I have a stack of stuff he's been sending me. I'm going to give it to you. And I looked at it and I'm like, this is good stuff. What did I do?
Yeah.
Like it, lift it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the best compliment you can give anybody. So I copied everything in his packages, right? And then one day, he actually got out of the specialty I was in to do more luxury property, which he was smart. I was like 3 years behind him. And he saw, I'm done doing condos. I'm gonna start doing more expensive properties, right? So one day we were somewhere and we were at an event and we were at the same company but different areas. And I saw him at the bar and we were talking and I go, you know, so-and-so, I gotta tell you, remember back in the day when you were doing all the condos and I was doing all the condos? He goes, yeah. I go, I couldn't understand why every time someone called me, they called you. He goes, I felt the same way. And he goes, you know what I did? I had somebody like save all your stuff. And I go, oh my God, I did the same thing. And you know, he was a worthy rival. So what I would say to you is, who are your worthy rivals that you aspire to be like if you want to play in this infinite game? This is not a finite game in real estate. If you really want to be in this long term, it's an infinite game because whether you live or die, the business that you created and the people that you have impacted will live on, right? So that was the third thing. Who is your worthy rival? So I would look, who are my worthy rivals? Who are people I like go, oh, I really admire them. I don't know how they do what they do. Ask them. Find out, what do you do? I want to know. Let me take you to lunch. Let me take you to coffee. You're so good. And the people that are coming from the scarcity mindset won't share with you. That's just how it is. What I love about our company is we do.
Yeah.
Because,
That's
look,
true.
Patty, I could sit there and show you everything I have. I could literally go, Patty, here's my listing package, here's my buyer's package, here's even my scripts. But guess what? Patty's not me.
Yeah,
Right.
you still got it.
Patty might not even do what I just gave her. So